Hello friends and welcome to my channel. I have a Christmas card for you today featuring Stampendous Peace Dove by Spellbinders. This beautiful die set is made up of 4 different sizes of doves, the tree, and sprigs to decorate it. I'll start off by creating a wintry background for everything to sit on. I'm using Sparkling Snow 3D embossing folder. The panel is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inches and it will be adhered to an A2 sized card base. I love creating dimension on cards. The tree and the sentiments piece with the secondary one have been die cut from black sheet foam. For both sentiments, they have not been popped out and the glue is applied as they sit in the excess foam backing. There will be a slight recess, making it easy to align the sentiment to it. This is a good technique, particularly for this sentiment because it is so fine. I use my craft pick to help nudge little bits and pieces into place just to ensure that everything is aligned. And now I can move on to the main sentiment, and as I apply the glue, it's just like I'm handwriting. I'm only applying a thin stream of glue, and so I do not apply a lot of pressure on the bottle. This main sentiment has been die cut from gold glitter paper. The cardstock has a very fine texture and it is really gorgeous. This cardstock is found in the Gold Collection Treasured Cardstock, which includes 5 different kinds of shiny and beautiful papers. These sentiments were set aside to dry for several minutes before using a craft pick to remove them from the excess foam. When adhering anything to foam, the drying time will definitely be a lot longer than adhering cardstock to cardstock. Although there is extra time and effort involved whenever a sentiment is stacked on foam, it is worth it. Those sentiments really pop. The secondary sentiment was super easy to release from the foam. Once all the little center pieces were removed from the letters, because it is just long and straight, sitting on that thin strip of cardstock, it just pulled out of the foam. And this sentiment is going to be adhered first to the bottom of the card. I'm applying thin streams of glue to this foam back die cut. The sentiment is centered side to side, and I'll use my craft pick to help get it even between that line of cardstock and the edge of the card base. And this did take several seconds of fiddling around with it, but because it is foam backed, the drying time is longer, and so there was lots of flexibility to get it in place. And the tree is just temporarily put in place on the card base so that I know where to position the dove so that it stays within the confines of the card front. And so now I'll go ahead and adhere the sentiment to the tree. The sprigs that will be adhered to the tree are also die cut from the gold glitter cardstock, and I don't want the sentiment overlapping them, otherwise they'll just get lost between each other. Because this sentiment is sitting on dark cardstock, I have taken the extra step of tapping the glue off on some scrap paper just to make sure that that glue is not going to ooze out. Even though it dries clear, it will still show on darker cardstock. So now I've got my sentiment and the dove in place, and I can go ahead and start arranging these really beautiful sprigs on the tree. And while I'm finalizing where everything is going to go and getting them adhered to the tree, let's talk about that cardstock. I really am totally in love with jewel tones. The colors are rich and saturated, and they are just gorgeous with metallic papers. Cardstock that I've used to cut both the secondary sentiment and this really beautiful triangular silhouette tree is Spellbinders Mahogany, and it is definitely at the top of my list of favorites. It is unique, and I would describe the color as plum. It is just gorgeous, and I love how it goes with the gold glitter cardstock. When it comes to Christmas cards, I definitely reach for the jewel tones more often than not. And the mahogany is definitely a statement piece. I have one sprig that is overhanging the tree, so flipping it around to the back, I'll trim it off flush to the tree. And so now my decorated tree can be adhered to the foam die cut. And I'll give that just a couple of minutes to dry, and then it is adhered to the card front. And after the tree has been positioned on the card, I'll set some weight on it and give it some more drying time. And although the gold glitter cardstock adds lots of sparkle to the card, I just thought I should have a bit more. After all, it is a Christmas card. I'm adding lots of clear iridescent crystals in amongst the snowflakes. And that wraps up this Christmas card featuring Stampendous Peace Dove by Spellbinders. This is almost a complete die cut card with the exception of the embossed background, and it is super easy to make. I hope you enjoyed this video, and as always, I appreciate your visit.